Saturday morning. That's Mama heading to the store you just heard there. They say it's going to snow maybe like 8 inches or something, so yeah. There's no milk at the store. So we got to go see what is available and get that. I got my turbo kits in the mail. This is the $50 kit I got off eBay. It did not come with the correct seal. I mean, it didn't come off eBay, it came off Amazon. I had to find the seal, which was 15 bucks on eBay. This kit came from Midwest Turbo, and this is supposed to be a high quality kit. And this was 90 bucks plus $20 shipping. Let me tell you what, $20 shipping. Now this is pretty much like the original. This one's supposed to have the updated thrust washer. So when I get into it, I'm going to compare the quality. You can see I'm still using hand signals. Compare the quality between this one and that one. This kit is much cheaper and comes with more stuff. But if the more stuff is junk, you know, it doesn't do you any good. But we'll get into that later. I'm going to rebuild this turbo using the best parts. And the goal would be to get this thing running again today and see how it acts. Which should be doable, I think. And then if it snows too much, I got to go to work. Which I do not want to do. But you know what they say, it isn't ours to question why, it's ours to do or die, or something like that. Alright, I've done some checking, and the bearings all measure the same. There is a difference between these bearings and the ones in the good kit. The good ones have more of a bevel there, and so that makes this one have more bearing surface on the shaft. Here, let me show you what I mean if I can get it out of there. See the difference in the bevels? You know, I don't know. Everything in here looks like it's of good quality. I had to buy that seal separate because it didn't come with a single carbon seal. You couldn't get that. It looks like to me this has got better stuff and more parts for less money. I don't know. At least that's my initial reaction. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use the best parts I got here. I'm going to use these parts since they're theoretically the best, even though it does not have the updated thrust washer. That kit would have been like 150 bucks. I don't know why. This one has it, and I think this kit's 50 bucks. Does not appear to be inferior quality parts, and it's got more seals. This kit does not have that seal. I guess I got to reuse the old one. But anyway, let me get to cleaning and get to building. Also, I think I'm going to remove my oil restrictor because I've done some more reading. And it sounds like you don't really need one for this style turbo unless you just got too much oil pressure, which I don't think I've got that problem. Seems like more oil is better. I think the problem I had was the seals are shot and the bearings were shot. So let me proceed in that direction. If it smokes, I'll put the restrictor back in it. Alright, I think I got everything pretty clean. This is a real bugger getting that little ring right there, ring land for lack of a better term. You know, we all realize I'm not a turbo expert, but it's very much like a piston ring goes in there. And it stands to reason you'd need that clean so it can compress. That, the deposits in there are very hard. I wound up using a scribe and a hardened pick. Anyway, I think I'm about ready to put this thing together, and I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I haven't really filmed any of the assembly procedure, but it's pretty much the reverse of taking it apart. I got it mostly back together, and I realized the new nut in the rebuild kit will not work because that's left-hand thread and this ain't. So I think I'm gonna put a little Loctite on it just to make sure, and then I think that'll be it for the internal part of the turbo, and then I can bolt the other stuff on and start getting it back together and maybe fire it up. Alright, I got the turbo back on there. I think I'm gonna crank it without putting this housing on there so I can see if the turbo spins. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Now they recommend spin the motor over 15 seconds to make sure you get some oil up to the turbo. I did use some assembly lube, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to unplug the coil and spin it over, and then I believe she'll fire up. I am not going to put the wastegate on, pretty sure, until I get the motor in the truck, because it might be I don't even need it, and two, I need to make sure I'm missing everything in the truck before I go welding stuff together. Don't you imagine? Okay. Since he agrees with me, that's what I'm going to do. And if it messes up, it's going to be your fault.
Oh, really?
Why not?
Well, you're the one doing it, not me.
Oh, well, there is that little detail. Okay, let me get back at it. Alright, I've already spun the motor over. Good 15 seconds to get some oil up here. So now, oh, I gotta put this hose on. Stand by. Alright, let's try that again. Squirt some gas in it. Hit the starter button, buddy.
Is this that?
Yeah. Go ahead. Smoke may well be just residual from before. I'm going to go ahead and put this exhaust housing on there. Hey, that's still hot. But before I do, I got to make a gasket. So I made a gasket out of some stuff, and I figure I'd show you all this trick. I showed it before, but I got some new subscribers, and that's a 38 shell, fired of course. And you just stick it where you want your hole, take a hammer and tap it through, and it punches a real nice hole. Real nice. And then of course, you just take a ball peen hammer and tap it around the inside until you cut your gasket out. There, we got a gasket. Voila! Better this time. 40 pounds, about 200 degrees. 19 inches of vacuum. I unhooked a PCV valve because the idle was very unstable, and that switched it out. I think this is not okay. Anyway, I still got some tuning to do, but she sounds pretty happy, don't she? Pretty good. I think it's pretty good. It's such a happy little motor. I hate to shut it off. What you got there, man?
A problem.
What is it?
Well, I was gonna give you a little jump here with the horn, but it wasn't working, so I was taking a look why it wasn't working. Looked at all the wires, so it's all connected and everything. But I just so happened with my handy dandy little check light that I have right now, that when I switch the switch on, it gets dimmer. Which, if you think about that, that means the battery, it doesn't have enough electricity going through it. So it means battery right there ain't no good.
Wow, that's quite a deduction. And you're probably right. You know what Sherlock Holmes would say?
What?
Elementary, my dear Watson. Oh, and also, I removed the orifice from right here. You gotta watch it, that's hot. Hot. And there's no smoke. So, it's my theory you don't need an orifice on this type of turbo.
It's leaking. What's it leaking?
I don't know. That's something I gotta figure out. Yeah, you just gotta point out. See, it's puddling up fuel in here.
Oh, that's fuel?
It was doing that before, but I was thinking it was because of nozzle drip because I didn't have it set just right. No doubt about it. I got some more figuring to do here.
I think that's just a little hazardous, don't you?
Yeah. Don't be smoking around it just yet.
I don't smoke.
It's not running in the motor, I don't believe, because it doesn't act funny when you fire it up. It's just puddling up right there for some reason.
Does it have to do anything with these here screws? Or bolts?
Yeah, we got to figure that out. Let's figure it out. All right, we've got her inside. Just for the fun of it, let's see if it'll fire up. Looks like it will. I moved his little workbench over to the back of his truck over there, since I was getting tired of tripping over here. But I'm going to go in now. I got to go get rested up because I got to work tonight, and I don't want to, but I got to. So do you think you could ring the bell, man?
Maybe I could manage.
You know, if this doesn't work out, this electrical thing, you could be a plumber.
I don't want to do that. Oh, I get it now.
Alright, ring the bell, man. Alright, that's it, folks. We appreciate you watching. Wasn't too exciting today, but it was for me. Mrs. Heavy Chevy has put new Mr. Heavy Chevy hoodies on the website. I was going to have a model today, but she disappeared. So we just don't have a model.
Man, I wish I would have had this warm hoodie yesterday before I got sick.
That's right.